Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Some of you, if you are watching on YouTube on the day that I posted this, on Facebook you might have already seen the update. You may be thinking that you're going to see a live unboxing video of my new stuff. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Had some kind of glitch in their system in the warehouse yesterday, and so even though I had my order slated for an overnight order, it didn't leave the warehouse. So it's leaving today. And unfortunately on Friday, because it's actually July 3rd, we already have 4th of July plans for Friday. So I won't be able to do a live unboxing. I will do an unboxing video, which will be a little bit more, I probably won't have actually a lot of time to go through my order by the time I show it to you on Monday. But on Monday, and if you check my Facebook page, or if I get any other kind of video up, I'll have a time. It'll probably be around 11 in the morning. I will go live on both Facebook and YouTube and show you with this stuff. And maybe by then I will, at least then I'll have this stuff kind of ordered, so I'll know what suite goes with what, and I'll show you everything that I have. So I'm kind of disappointed because I thought that I would have everything. But a reminder that if you place an order of $50 or more between now and July 6th, which is Monday, because when I'm done with that, then I'll head off to the post office, and everybody who's ordered in this first little bit will get their catalog out in the mail on Monday. And then I'll get everybody else, if you have ordered from me $50 or more since April 1st of 2020, all of y'all will get your catalogs mailed to you. And then probably maybe a week after that, it takes quite a bit of time to print all those labels and get them all stuffed. So you're all going to get priority, and I promise I won't get a glitch in my system, but I'll get the first few of you that place orders. And some of you have already placed orders today. So I have a little note going with all of you. They're going to get your catalogs mailed out on Monday. And those will go from me, not from Stampin' Up. So that's where we are today. So my husband's like, because he's on vacation now, so I've sent him off to run some errands so it'll be quiet at my house. And he's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a card. I had nothing. So I whipped out the Pampered Pets because I haven't used it yet. We have a new catalog that just started, and then a new catalog because this year Stampin' Up's kind of funky because we're changing catalog dates. So this year, 2 catalogs are really close together. In the future, it won't be like this, but for this year, it is what it is. So I still have a lot of stuff I haven't used yet from the annual catalog, and I haven't used Pampered Pets. I've used it in my class, my online class, but I haven't used it for you yet, just generally on YouTube, and it's a super sweet set. So I'm going to use the dog today. You know, I have cats because they often make an appearance. One of them made an appearance in yesterday's video. But we have had dogs in the past. We just don't currently have a dog right now. I have a grand dog. So I'm going to use, this is our velvet paper, and it is also new, and it's the cinnamon cider, which was the color that I went for yesterday. I wanted my dog to be fluffy, so this is especially fun if you want to give it to a child, but really any dog lover would love this card because it's going to have a little bit of fluff, our dog here. So I'm going to use the die because, you know, anytime you use this specialty paper saving technique, I like to give you those. You don't want to waste the paper, right? Because it's a little bit, it's not as inexpensive as our regular cardstock. So I'm just going to trim around the die, and that's going to let me know exactly how big this needs to be. That way I'm not wasting paper. And then, because I'm going to be stamping on the Velveteen paper, it's going to take more than one stamp, because if you do it once, it's just going to be kind of light, and you don't want it to be light. You want to be able to see your puppy. I have some cat hair on my table. So I'm going to use, again, the paper saving technique. I don't have a lot of stuff to use my magnet. And if you watch me, you know, I'm not a huge magnet user anyways. I do use it to keep my scrap paper up here in the corner of my Stamparatus. And then I'm going to use some seal, because it's kind of removable. Just put a little bit right here where I know my dog is going to stamp when I stamp him. And then I'm just going to lay my paper here. So if it's all covered up with my little piece of paper, then I know it's going to stamp there. So it doesn't have to be any kind of perfect. This is really the easiest way to use your Stamparatus. Then I'm going to use Memento, but it's going to take 5 or 6 times. So you want it to be a freshly, well, mine's not freshly inked. I meant to freshly ink it, but you know, my husband, he's hovering. Anybody have hovering husbands when they want to be doing something else? So stamp it, because he'd really rather be out in the pool or me fixing lunch or doing anything but working, because he's got the day off, so shouldn't we all? But we were just on vacation. And unfortunately, when I go on vacation, nobody does my work. So you can see it's really pretty light. So that's why I'm using my Stamparatus, because you know, the beauty of the Stamparatus is if you miss a part of your stamp, then you can keep stamping. But I've sent him off to go to run errands, and he doesn't have very many. Actually, one of the errands he's doing is he's getting a couple of videos from the Red Box, because all of you that have signed up for the second mailing of my Try It class, we're going to finish cutting all that paper tonight. So I did let him pick some videos that we could watch while we're doing that, because he's going to help me so we can knock it all out, so they can. So you can see every time I'm stamping it, it's getting a little bit darker. So this is about halfway. This will be the third time, and I'm holding it down because this paper, since it's velvet paper, it can take a second to soak into it. It's not like regular cardstock. Now I'm going to take my blends, because this way if it colors over a little bit or it bleeds out. So I've got my red, maybe poppy. It's dark poppy. I'm going to color his little collar, but I'm going to do this halfway through. That way, if it goes over the top of my image, then when I stamp back over it, and here's my light black for his nose. So when I stamp back over it, it'll re-stamp those over the top. So now we've got his nose and his collar, and that's all we need. So if you're doing this, remember to freshly re-ink, and I would have if I was like, you have to run errands, and my card wasn't quite finished, and then he just left, and I'm like, oh, how very long to film before he comes and he hovers again. Plus, I want to get in the pool too. It's 1,000,000 degrees here, and who doesn't want to be in the pool when it's 1,000,000 degrees? Plus, and I know that we have to come back in and work, so we'll go swim for a little bit, and then I can come in and start cutting packets and get that class out. And then I'll tell you while I'm doing this, because this is kind of boring and I could speed it up, but I'll talk instead. I want you to see it doesn't take forever. You can see every time he's getting darker and darker. That I will have the Try It class was based on all 10 papers, all 10 suites and the matching embellishments and the ribbons that went with them, and there was a card with a template that was designed. It was so much fun to do, and I will have a holiday version coming up, and sign-ups for that will be soon, because I'll need to order all of this stuff when the catalog goes live. I'll design the class this month, and then when the catalog goes live. So sign-ups will happen soon, and then I will mail it, let's see, mid-August for the first one. And because things during COVID go in back order faster than they should, this should be the last time. There may be, again, like there was this past time, a first and a second sign up. So next time, I haven't, because I was hoping to have a catalog in my hands today to kind of look at the stuff. But there will be Christmas, obviously. There'll be some fall cards. There'll be some generic. There's just lovely, pretty, beautiful stuff in that catalog. But I'm not sure how many cards there will be. So see, now we've got him nice and dark. So he went from where you could hardly see him, and now he's nice and dark. So that seal just pulls right off. So now we can run him through the die cut machine. So go to my website and you will see all of my specials that I'm running in July, because there's a ton. You can find out how to get your holiday catalog. It's now called the August to December catalog from me. And you can find out all of the free things that I'm giving. You can get a free mini trimmer. I'm giving this away free with certain orders. And all that. I'm not going to take the time to do it because I got to get this done before he gets home. You can hear my iPad going off, and that means somebody's texting me because my phone's turned off, which is probably him. So these are two of the dies that come in this bundle. So one's this little paw print, and then the other one cuts out the dog. Also cuts out some of the dogs that are in the designer series paper that goes with this. I'm not using any of those, any of this, but it may be on the back side of the paper that I am using. So you can see it cuts the dog out perfectly. Still have a little bit of seal on the back of that. So super, super cute. He's nice and dark. And I am going to show you a tip if you find at the end it's not quite dark enough. And then here's our little paw print thing that's for the... Now look at these. Aren't those the most precious things you ever saw? We're going to use... I wish that I could figure out a way, and I may. I have ink all over my fingers. That's what happens when I go fast. To keep these intact, and I'm going to try to figure it out. But for this cardboard, I'm just going to use part of it. Now we have to have a saying, and I'm going to use, I hope your day is a real treat. Where'd I put my white paper? Here it is. Because my hands were dirty earlier when I touched that. This is now was a full card, and you can see because apparently I got my hands dirty when I first started stamping. And you know, when you have some black on your hands and then pretty soon you have black ink on everything. But that's okay because I needed some scrap. So let's go here where it's the least amount of fingerprints all over everything. I like this. It's a nice mixed font. I need this too, so we'll go ahead and do this. This little dog bowl. I don't think there's a die for that. If there is, I don't have it hanging where the dies go. So I'm just gonna fussy cut that. And then I just have this punch. Just line that up in there. Punch that out. And then that I'm going to cut. So now let's pull our machine back over here. So I have a bunch of things I'm going to run through. First, I have a false front, because you know I like to do that. It's too hard to figure out how to get your thing to go through your card without having the fold. So here's a false front for our just real red card. This is a nice card. It can be for any age, guy or girl. And then here's a strip of the designer series paper, and you can see the dogs on the back. I don't have that one, but there is a dog that does work with that die. And then here's our little thing that we did. And you can see this has the outline of the die that ran through. This will cover that right up. And then our little tag. And those will all fit on here, so we'll just do those all at once. Always put your dies through with the fold crease first. You know, these all have some nice texture to them, so nothing on the card is going to look flat. And I'm going to take my little bowl, and before I cut it out, I'm going to go ahead and color it. So I have my light crumb cake and my light cinnamon cider. If you don't have the new in colors, we have all of those in a blend except for the bumblebee. I'm just going to add a little bit of the cinnamon there. I'm just trying to, because this was the color that this paper came in, you know, it's like a dog color. So I'm just trying to pull that into the card. And then the rest of this will be crumb cake. You can see it blends in, so it's going to give it a nice shadow of the cinnamon cider, but the actual bowl will be crumb cake. And just a hair of it in the inside. I'm just going to give it a little dab more. We're going to carry that paw print theme that's on the designer series paper all the way through this card. So it just has a hint of the cinnamon cider. And then just cut this out, which is super easy. So I don't think there's a die, and I would have checked in the catalog under normal circumstances. But today has not been anywhere close to the day. I didn't know that my husband had taken the day off. And then, truth be told, he's off on Monday too. He has way too many vacation days. He started the year with way too many vacation days, way too many. They made him take a whole bunch off at the end of last year because he can only carry over so many. So he got special permission to carry over more than he should. So then he had too many, and then, you know, he works at a hospital. So then he was there all of the time because of, you know, the world we live in these days. So then he was forced to take some when they were busy. Let's see how we want to do this, because I'm going to tie some ribbon. I should stop talking. So we actually went on vacation but he accumulates them as fast as he can take them. Let's put this down here. Like I said, I haven't actually made this card. I kind of laid it out. So let's go with this down here at the bottom. And I'm going to switch to my Seal Plus. Because anytime you're doing the texture on the texture, I think this holds a little bit stronger. So now he's just at this stage because during the COVID crisis, they couldn't take days off and they were working sometimes 7 days a week, 10-hour days. He's in IT. So then they awarded them with days off, but it didn't count towards any of their days off. So he was taking days off, but they weren't counting his vacation. And he was accruing them faster than at a normal pace, which because it's been there for so long, and you know, when you're old. All of you young girls, you just wait. I know that, you know, when you're young and you really need vacation days, it seems like you can never have enough. And you need them for all of your kids' events and your kids' sporting activities. And then you get older and you're like, you earn them faster and you need them less. We are grateful for them. But, you know, when you work at home, and I have to work and he doesn't, but he will be here on Monday too. So I'll have to find another job for him to do on Monday when I do my live. So this is the ribbon that comes out of the Playful Pet Suite. Super cute. I used the twine. If you saw my cards with the glimmer hearts, this made it on a lot of them. I love the twine. And I would use it on this card as well, except I'm running a little low because I use so much of it on those cards. So I've got that. So you can see that the Seal Plus is just a little stronger. And sometimes when you've sent these through the texture plates on both cards, it can kind of pull up the cards. Now we've got this. So let's add our little doggy. I'm not gonna do anything on a dimensional because there's going to be a little bit going on up here. Let's put him over here. And then let's do our little bowl. Okay, so we have these little bones. You get hearts for the cats and bones for the dogs. I would show you them, except I'm running really low for my class. In fact, this one may get taken off this card. I haven't counted. And just roll them on the back of your thing, or you can use a glue dot. I'm just going to add one here. Oops, that's not going to hold. So I am going to add a glue dot. I think it would hold better with the seal and not the Seal Plus, but let's just use a glue dot. And that will hold for sure. I can get it where it goes. There we go. And then let's go back to these tiny little paw prints. Now, like I said, I wish I could figure out a way to get them all off, and maybe I could if I had a ton of time. But for now, we're just going to grab them, and I'm going to go back to my seal because I know this will work. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and the Funky M, and I'm going to grab the hearts. And then just lay them on the back of your seal. And once you lay it on with the sticky part, then just lift it up with the pointy part, and that will grab some adhesive. And then you've got the little hearts that are the upside down part of your paw. You could probably use this as a template and lay it on and get them back on. But it's a holiday weekend and my day has already not gone as planned, so I don't have time to sit there and do that. But if you were scrapbooking or you're making a picture frame or something like that where you have, oops, it's still on there, where you have a little bit more time, I mean, and it's worth the amount of effort that might take, it would be super cute. For this little card and for this day, the day that I've had, it is not worth it. How cute are those? And those are just then leftovers from the paw. So let's mount these on here. I'm gonna need to trim those down. Those are a little long. That's what happens when you don't have a mock-up card. I know some people wing it. I'm not a winger when it comes to doing mine. I need to get rid of the Seal Plus. Especially because this has extra weight on it. It's better for my dirty fingers. And then I'm gonna, come on. I'm going to use the seal on here because you know, anytime you put your false fronts on, there's a chance that you might get them on here just a bit crooked. Oh, we're good. But if you get it on with the crooked with the Seal Plus, you always have that little fraction of time that you can go back on there and fix it. So there we go. I would have another one to show you, except I don't have another one to show you. So he's got that fun little texture, especially a child would like that. The Memento, it does take a few seconds to dry. If you have stays on, it would be a nice option too, to use on that because of the paper. You could probably heat set it or just, and it may not take as long to dry where you are, except it's like 1,000,000% humidity, you know, in the Midwest these days because it's summertime. In the dead of winter when we have our furnace on, it'll probably dry super fast because, you know, our skin's all drying out and everything. But there you go. I hope you like that. I hope you all have a fabulous 4th of July weekend. And remember to check out my website for all of my specials. And I will see you back on Monday, fingers crossed, with all of my new stuff. Bye.